let's say for this trick, I can give the deck a few cuts, and I would take it back and explain that I'm going to actually make a prediction here. So let's say I choose this card for my prediction, and I will leave it right here. So, I would then explain to the spectator that I'm going to start dealing cards, and all they have to do is call out stop. So let's say they call out stop here, and I explain to them that I can deal a few more cards, it really doesn't matter. Let's say they want me to go a few more, and then they will call out stop. So let's say they want me to stop here. So we would take this pile, and we can turn it over, and we would take this card they stopped on, and in this case, it's a 4. So that means from this pile, we're going to deal 4 cards. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Now keep in mind, the deck was cut. I made a prediction. You called out stop wherever you wanted, and you could have went even further in the deck. And then you stopped again. We counted 4 cards and we landed right here. In this case, we have the 5 of hearts. What if my prediction matched? And in this case, my prediction from the beginning is the 5 of diamonds. So that is the effect. If you would like to learn how to do this, make sure you stick around for the tutorial. So, before I actually get into this effect, in case you were wondering about the cards I'm using, these are actually the Black Artisans. Now, I do have a deck review on these, so I will leave that down below in the description. So here is your setup, and it's a really brief setup. So at the end, I am going to teach you a way you can do this impromptu as well. So what you want to do is go through the deck and take out a pair of cards. It can be any pair of cards. In this case, the 4s. So at the end, I'm going to show you what you're going to do with the other pairs in the deck. How you're going to use them for the trick, if that makes sense. So let's say you take out the 4s. You're going to have one on top of the deck and one on the bottom. And that is your only setup. So the deck is shuffled, but you have a 4 on top and a 4 on the bottom. So let's say you have this. You can go up to the spectator, and now you can do any false shuffles and cuts you would like. Just keep those 4s on top and bottom. I'm going to link some false cuts and some false shuffles down below in the description if you would like to check out those. But after it's cut and shuffled, you take back the deck, and now you explain you're going to make a prediction. Now, the cards would be like this, but I'm going to expose it just so you can see it. So, you're going to look on the bottom, and part of your setup of 4, meaning you're going to count 4. So, you're going to start with the bottom card, this 4. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, the King of Hearts. So whatever the setup is, you're going to count that setup card as 1, and then count up to the number that's on that setup card. So, in this case, since it's 4, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning you're going to take out the soulmate, the King of Diamonds. Now, I should have mentioned that this needs a full deck, so make sure you have a full deck before you attempt this. Or if you know, for example, you have the King of Diamonds in the deck, but you don't have the King of Hearts, make sure you take out the King of Diamonds. So even though it's not a full deck, every card in here is going to have a soulmate. So the Queen of Clubs will have the Queen of Spades, the King of Spades will have the King of Clubs, so on and so forth. So I hope that makes sense. So once you find the soulmate, you're going to set it off to the side, and now you can turn the deck so the spectator can see it, and you're going to start explaining what you're going to be doing while you're dealing. So you explain to the spectator, you're going to start dealing, and you want them to call out stop. Now, something you want them to do is not call out stop before you get past your King of Hearts, because you're going to need to count 4 cards. If you have 2 cards here, well, you can't count 4. Same with 3 cards, and 4 cards, I think that's a little weird. So I usually go past the King of Hearts, then I go 2 or 3 more just to be safe. And now they can call out stop. So let's say they call out stop on the 10 of hearts. It doesn't matter. Once they call out stop, you're going to take the rest of the cards in your hand, turn them face down, and put them down, and direct all the attention to this pile. So really, you're going to make this look like this is where they called stop. Actually, they called out stop here. But when you put down the pile like this, and all the attention is focused on this pile from the start, they shouldn't really notice about this pile. So I like to turn this face down, and then I like to say, okay, let's see what card we stopped on. In this case, a 4. Really, it was a 2, but it's gonna be a 4 for this to work. So now you say, okay, let's count 4 cards. And the spectator could probably do this whole thing. You just take out the prediction, and then they can start dealing this pile, and you explain that after they get past the 4 cards, and then a few cards more, they can stop. Make sure you don't say, once you get past 6 cards, just make sure you're done talking after about 6 or 7. And then they can turn this pile over. You can tell them to just put it down like this and just square up this pile. So anyway, let's get back here. So this is a 4, meaning that they're going to count 4 here. So in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this case, we have the King of Hearts. And my prediction is the King of Diamonds. So that is the effect. It's a really simple trick, actually. And let's actually get into the other cards really quick. What you're going to want to know for them. So we have a queen, a 6, a 10, 8, 9, 5, 3, ace, 2, jack. I think we're pretty much good here. So, if you want the pair of aces, they're going to be worth 1. If you want a 2, they're going to be worth 2. If you want a 3, they're going to be 3. If you have a 4, obviously they're going to be a 4. A 5 is 5. 6 is 6. I forgot one card here. A 7 is going to be a 7. 8 is 8. 9 is 9. 10 is 10. Jack is 11. Queen is 12. King is 13. I usually don't like to do aces or jack, queen, and king, just because most people don't know what they are, but obviously 2 through 10 they would know. I think 2 is a little too easy to figure out. I think 10 is going to take too long. So personally, I like 3, maybe 3 to 7. You could do 8, but I think 3 to 7 is a good range. But you can play around and see what works. And a few more things actually I want to go over here really quick. So this is something that might happen, and then I thought of another ending right when doing the tutorial here. You could actually play around with and see if it works. So, obviously you're gonna have your setup. You're gonna go ahead and let's say you see it's a 4, so you're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to need to take out the soulmate to the King of Hearts, the King of Diamonds. You see the king of diamonds here, you take it out. Well, now you're in a predicament here because you have 1, 2, 3 cards, and the king is in third and not fourth. What do you do? Something you could do here is you could actually upjog the king, and then you could upjog one other card. It doesn't matter what it is. And then you can place both of these in the second position under that 4. Make it look like you're trying to decide between both of these, and then take out that king. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 anyway. So that's what you could do. So let me go over this one more time and show you that secret ending. And then I'm going to show you how you can do this impromptu, and then that will be the video. So you're going to start dealing, and once you get past the 4 cards, I like to go a few more. While you're dealing, you're going to be explaining that they can call out stop whenever. Let's say they call out stop here. Once they call out stop, take the rest of the cards in your hand and just put them down. And you can square up this packet and turn it over. And you can say, okay, let's see where you stopped on, or let's see where you stopped at. And in this case, we have a 4. So then you can say, okay, how about we count 4 here from the top? And the spectator could be doing this entire thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they could take this card, and I would actually have them start dealing this pile, because when they're dealing this and they take out the 4th card, you can take this other card because they're going to forget it quickly. They're not really going to pay attention to it that much. So don't draw that much attention to it. Just put it on the bottom of the pile. They can turn over that card, and it's going to be the King of Hearts here. You can say, okay. And you can recap the entire trick. It doesn't matter. But once they turn over your prediction, they see it's going to match. Then you can say, wait, that's not all. Take the rest of the cards they didn't deal, put them on top of the pile you took this prediction king from, turn it over and say, well, if this is a 4, what's over here? And you turn over this pile, and that is another 4. So sort of a double ending. You can let me know what you think about that. I don't really see the point of having 2 4s. Maybe it's because you counted 4 cards for this prediction, and then I don't really get why you have 2 4s here. But maybe that's what you could play around with. So let me know if you can come up with any endings for that, actually. But let me get really quick into the last way you can do this. So this is from a shuffle deck. So you can take the deck back once they're done shuffling. You can explain these are all different. And let's say we want the 5s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the 5s right to the bottom of the deck here. So we go through, and you can show there's another 5. I'm still practicing my calls, so it's not the best. But once you're done showing those, both of those 5s are on top. So now you need to get a break under 1 5, in this case a pinky count. You can also riffle up from the back or push off and pull back. I'll leave a link for the pinky count down below. And then I like to do a double undercut, and I will leave a link for that down below as well. But now that puts 1 5 on the top and on the bottom of the deck. And that is the trick. So I hope you really enjoyed this one. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you can come up with anything for that double ending somehow. And I will see you next time with a new video. Bye.